Hello? Okay. What is that sort of noise that? Let me fix that. How about now? I mean, my word will be clipped now. I mean, it's so bad. Actually, it's so bad. I mean, it's whatever. But yeah. How about now? My voice is kinda rough. Dude. Oh, fuck you. Hello? Is this better? I don't know. Whatever. Imperator. Is it so horrible? Imperator? Honestly, how about this? Oh. Hello? Hello? That's a bit decent. I think 8, right? Anyway, Verita is now good to go. Where is he? Alright. He is here.
The sovereign shall walk ahead,
Great.
and their people shall follow them.
Which one?
This is not the end, merely the cornerstone of a grand endeavor.
Really? I don't know that. I think I know what to do. Oh, but now? Fuck. Shit. I mean, I know why. But literally why? Oh, look. What is happening? I mean, great. Wait, I have this? From what? What is this? Weird. This is for Eidolon, right? Yeah, it must be, no? It must be. Oh my god. Please. It's whatever. Kinda bullshit. I mean, that's it for. Alright, I mean, I said it was a boring stream, so you get what you. Why? Sorry. Come on. I wish. I wish that. I wish. I wish. I wish that. I wish. Honestly, what is going on? Hmm. Really? Really now? My God. I sound tired, aren't I mean, sometimes I really can't speak. But this is kind of worse if I sound tired like that. My God. What the fuck? I mean, okay, that is this. There it is, dude. I am kinda tired. But if I just don't use that. What the fuck? What else? What else? How about this? Hello? 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 People? Hello? No, it's too loud. I mean, it's clipping probably. Probably clipping. Now what? I mean, it's not that loud. But it's horrible now. It sounded. Okay. How about this? It's kind of weird now. Hmm. Fuck you. Yes, it's horrible. Maybe not. Maybe don't use anything at all. That's pretty good. But too quiet though. Hmm. Let's see. Let's see. No, it's two. Oh, that's a bit weird. What now? I don't get it anymore. I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, Whatever.
Grow, grow, grow! The temple of... Shower me with...
Na 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 na. Hmm. But if I just do this real quick. Interesting. I will be. What the fuck? Interesting.
Add Astro... Thank you for
Out Asa Abyssos. I don't have gated. What the why is my word clipping? Don't really get it. What if I do this? Like this? And I'm done, dude. What a boring game. I mean, I have so much. I have too much. I have too much thing to do in Genshin though. And I cannot hear myself speak. Great. Great, great, great. Great. How about this? Hello? Hello? Okay. I mean, it's pretty weird. Pretty weird sounding. It's pretty weird sounding, I mean.
There are
I think it's too much deep, too much.
and I know just the tune to accompany them, if you
Too
wish
much
to
that?
hear it.
It's too loud.
Rebooting.
How about -6? I mean, is this better? Notice tail behind my word. No, it doesn't. No, no, no. I mean, yeah. Where's my whatever, dude? Shit. Shit, the bitch. Do I need compressor for this? That's why. Let's.
Come take a look. There will definitely be something that catches your eye.
It's been getting quite busy recently.
No, no. I will be. You. Even if I cannot be.
Wherever in this world I roam,
But you.
I carry memories of my home.
Come take a look.
This
Even if I dream
is
on,
the last link I have to the land of my birth.
I could be. I will understand if you are I could finally
Come take a look.
understand you, even if I speak. It's kind of. What am I doing, dude? What am I singing? Singing and me speaking is so different, dude. I mean, it's decent, no? Fuck you, Sage. Whatever, dude. Hello? Okay, I'm way too not loud. How about now? A bit more?
Leaves around.
How about now?
I know just the tune to accompany them, if you wish to hear it.
I mean, really, is this the best thing you can do? How about this? How about this? How about now?
This scenery is wonderful.
How about
Surely
now?
you can convince anyone to become a wanderer.
No, it sounds a bit boxy. How about this? That's still the same. How about this? How about now? I really don't get it. I really should not be playing around with audio. Though. I mean, it's loud, but it's kind of bad. I mean, deal with it, bitch. Deal with it. Like, oh my god. Maybe this one? Hello? I mean,
Time to go.
I, this is kinda boring. But my voice is kinda. Wait, what's coming, dude? I thought this was coming, dude. What the fuck? What the fuck, dude? Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Why is my voice cutting? No, my foul. Oh my god. Did I not change my name? Whatever, though. It's over anyway. Bye bye. Oh, it's not over. What the fuck? Hello? Test 1, 2, 3. Test. What is happening? Hello? Hello? What if I just do this? Like this, I mean. It's kinda whatever. Interesting. It's hard. What about this? It sounds horrible, this shit. What about me? Shit. Oh my god. What is going on? I don't really know at this point. Why does it sound so bad? I mean, what about this? Wait, hold on. Let's check this out. Hmm. 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 Oh. Oh. Hello? 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 How about this? Damn, what the fuck? What the fuck, dude? That's kinda house. What making it like that though? How about this maybe? No. That's bad. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now my voice kinda what? I mean this whole time I can just move my Ilkara over, dude. I can puppet my Ilkara up, but I didn't. That like stupid idiot I am. Why am I stuttering? Hello? Bitch? Okay. Is it because my mic is on the way? I mean I need to have it there. How about now? That's horrible. Much clipping. Hmm. How about now? This is interesting, to say the least. Um, I don't really get it. Why am I doing this? That sounds decent. Let's see if it continue to be decent or I mean it's not loud enough. Maybe I can change that. How about now? Okay, never mind. How about now? Like this, maybe? I mean, it's loud but harsh. It has something on it. It's my foreman. Probably. I mean, it's probably my. I mean, it's whatever. No, it's really bad. How about now? How about now? It's still weird. It, weird. Interesting. I just realized that slime is. They burn out apparently. How about now? I really don't get it. What if I disable that? Hello? Hello? Oh my god. Shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hello? Interesting. 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 How about if I do that? No, it sounds weird. That's it said that. Negative 15. Maybe this is good. Yeah, I cut my ass. I mean, it's decent though. I probably should heal myself. Not. How would I do that? I mean, this is crazy. Actually, why am I so quiet? Why am I so quiet though? I mean, whatever. That's it. That's it. Done. I'm done. Oh my god. Hmm. Interesting. Interesting idea. But if I just move these two to here, is that a good idea or what? That's kind of bad. No? Hello? Hello? Fuck, it's kind of bad. Fuck. Fucking bitch. Fucking bitch. Oh my god. This is so funny. This is actually Savani. Hello? Never mind. Rifat. How about now? It's the same for some reason. Hello? I don't get it at all. What is going on? Yep, that is not the way. Really now. Really now. Oh my god. Oh my god. I mean, how about now? Shit, I really don't get it. Okay, let's see what is going on. It seems like. Yeah, I know what's going on. It's kinda annoying. Huh? I, okay. How about now? How about now? That's kinda weird. What is that noise? Hmm, interesting. How about now? That is too much, probably. Like, how about now? It's still there for some reason. I don't really get it why. Interesting. 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 How about now? Good. Hi. That's that is super loud. How about that? No. What is going on? What is that noise then? I mean, how about now? Hmm. 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 Hello? Hello? Fuck, I'm done.